Namaste, everyone. Welcome. I have been putting off this live for a while, and I finally decided that I sort of couldn't feel like I fully closed certain chapters, leaped into new chapters without doing this. So we are going to do an old school version of the live stream for those who have been following me for years. You have seen me do this in quite a while, and it's just sort of my way of focused channeling slash info dumping on what is going on without exhausting my conversations. So this is streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. If you want to know what's going on with me, this is the opportunity to get that in one pack. You wait until this has been completed, then you will be able to speed it up. For those who do not know me, this will feel sort of out of the blue, but I guess it would be a good thing to introduce. Today, I'm Albert. I work in this office of the audio shop in the Let's try this. Hopefully that makes it better. It's sort of like the Wi-Fi cutting in and out for some reason. Hopefully it's better. But KJ may also be Facebook, so I recommend going to YouTube. So namaste, I'm Jamie London Wahlberg, and I'm a leader of love. And a leader of love is someone who is in a leadership role and has a purpose, a mission, a passion for making this world a better place, helping with the collective, helping with animals, whatever it is that you are passionate about. And it may sound cliche, but this is what we are ultimately doing here, right? We all want to live our best life and we want to enjoy our time as a soul and a human experience. And so, if you are someone who is a leader of love, you tend to likely get into burnout because of the fact that you are so passionate and so deeply invested, and you tend to forget perhaps about yourself and others that you care about, or even just other hobbies, other interests, other aspects of yourself. And so, we come out of balance, and that doesn't feel very good. And so, what I do is I utilize going through the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body to help you have awareness of where you are out of balance and bring yourself back into balance and therefore out of burnout and prevent you from getting back into burnout. And I do this through impactful spiritual experiences, and you can learn all about those at wake-in.com. Or you can also book the free call with me for the unconditional love call and experience the self love audit. And I will guide you through that very specific process. With that said, I don't really want to talk about what it is that I do right now. I want to talk about the last 2 months or so, a little bit about where I was, where I am, and where I am going at this point. And I'm glad KJ that fixed that. That's great. So, what has been going on? August and September seem to be a very full and challenging time for a lot of people, and I am not excused from this at all. I definitely have come to realize that I need to treat August and September very differently going forward. For those who don't know, my focus in August and September was largely the Global Gratitude March, which eventually turned into Gratitude Week. And there were a lot of different things around this. There were things that were leading up to this. And the march in itself, the second annual march, was a lot of chapters closing and a lot of milestones happening and a lot of various meetings and reunions, and there was a lot that was leading up to this, in addition to the fact that this was already a big volunteer event that I had been taking on for the last, I guess, year and four months or so, between the two marches. And one of those things was the challenges, right? So there were a lot of challenges, there were a lot of changes to the team, and there were a lot of things that I ended up taking on and expanding upon that I didn't exactly anticipate. And what I've realized is that this was all leadership boot camp, as well as just continuing to practice gratitude and anchoring gratitude deeper into the collective and this new consciousness, and this new wave of gratitude that we were all cultivating together over all of that time. But that it was a lot of challenges and a lot of learning how to be a better leader. And as much as I resisted a lot of the process I went through, and I'm very proud of who I have become on the other side of it. And I've also come to realize that there's still so much that I have to learn about being a leader and to be the best leader of love. And to me, this is a celebration, because if you have someone who has decided that they know everything that they have to know about really anything that they're passionate about or anything that they're focused on, especially if they're in a role of leadership or educator or guide or coach or practitioner, that is a huge red flag to me, because change is always happening. There's always more to learn. There's always more to experience. And as things are changing with the times, as we say, we ought to also change and we also ought to grow. And that is so much of what we are doing here. And so that is what I've spent a lot of August and September doing, was through this leadership boot camp and growing. During the march, myself and Wonder and Zach McKinnon, my amazing, amazing collaborators, we actually got to come together for the first time and physically in probably like almost 2 years or a year and a half, to actually share in the same space. And we got together to actually launch and premiere something that we have been quietly navigating and creating and channeling in for the last 4 years, which is the Waken Wellness deck. And we launched and put out the Waken Wellness sample deck, which is a 9 card deck. And you can actually purchase this now for $13. It's a multi sensory, inclusive, and accessible virtual experience at the moment, and we will be releasing the rest of the deck and talking more about that in the near future. So definitely tap in. But if you go again to wake-in.com, you will be able to actually go and learn more about the deck, see what it's about, and you can get that for yourself now, and we'll give you access. We are extremely proud and excited. And during the March, we actually did a live performance of the deck, and that was incredibly special. So that was a huge milestone in itself. I also finally got to meet one of my best friends and collaborators, Tess Wall, who came all the way from Houston. The boys came all the way from California, all the way from Houston, Texas, to participate as a speaker and actually just full on support and stay and spend time and hang out during the march and that week. And so I had guests and I had friends, and it was a lot of remembrances, a lot of activations, and it was super overwhelming in the best way, really, to have all of us together. And so these reunions were, very, very special and very meaningful and very high vibration. And there were all sorts of fun things and exciting things that were happening during that time. There were other completions of various projects and decisions. I decided that I will not be doing another Global Gratitude March for the foreseeable future. I will continue always to practice gratitude and to bring gratitude as a very important part of what I do and what it is that I bring to this world. But I will not be doing this event anymore because I'm not an event organizer and I don't want to be organizing events. That's not my strong suit. And somehow I kept ending up becoming the organizer, and it was exhausting. And it's important to learn what is best for you and what is not best for you so that way you can set new and healthy boundaries. And so that has been something huge that I have been doing. Yes, KJ, absolutely. Always changing, growing, and nobody knows everything 100%. Or remembering in any case. And I'm meant to remember only what I'm meant to remember in order to be the best Jamie that I need to be for myself and for the collective and my greater good and for everyone's greater good. And so I closed a lot of chapters on a lot of different dynamics and a lot of ways of being. I have spent a lot of time over the summer and the early part of this fall season already navigating new boundaries, healing people pleasing, which is something that I've been doing all year. And so I've been unfollowing, I've been a lot less on social media this year. Like a lot of people have no idea what's going on unless they directly communicate with me because I'm just not enjoying it anymore. There's so much going on, and I am learning my balance of what's healthy and best for me of social media and actually being in my physical world around me. And I realized that I found my virtual people and I'm navigating who fits in with my physical world. And a lot of that has been changing. And so I've been slowly peeling back the layers of who to remove and who to add. And it's been opening a lot of doors for new people to come into my life, which I know is definitely going to be happening for sure in 2025. This was my 2 year for those who know about or love numerology. 2 year is the year of relationships. So I've been navigating relationships and boundaries, and that's really where a lot of my time and my energy has been going. And being on social media all the time, I realized wasn't really getting me anywhere. It wasn't necessarily getting me more clients. It wasn't making me any happier. And in fact, during this whole Global Gratitude March, I was actually confronted by people who are closest to me about my happiness level, or rather, lack thereof. And I was going through a lot of depression and a lot of pain. Frankly, I was dealing with a lot of physical issues on and off. I mean, I even like have a, you can't really tell as much right now, thankfully, but I have a sty that I'm healing. um, my cats have been going through a lot of health stuff, and I'm taking them back to the vet on Monday. Rory had several surgeries over the summer, and so between that and the fact that, remember, my last big update was really after I just got back from Spain with my dad in that amazing trip in May. And so when I got back from that, I was anticipating, oh, I'm going to have all of this time to really, you know, process everything. And I realized that I was just kind of jumping into things. And then I realized, very recently, as in the last couple of weeks, that putting pressure on ourselves to process in a certain way and to be productive as opposed to focusing on progress does not serve me. I don't actually think it serves anybody, but it definitely doesn't serve me to be fixated on, I must process this now. Sometimes I process things very fast, and then there are other things where you process it over time, and there is no right or wrong way to process. And releasing the focus on productivity and focusing on progress has allowed me to spend more time in flow and get a little bit less stagnant in energy. During the March, as things were closing off, I learned that my uncle had transitioned. Well, I actually learned that he was going to be quickly transitioning off this plane, and that happened. And so I just got back on Monday from going out to Colorado to be with family and celebrate his life. And that impacted me in a really, really, really big way, much bigger than I imagined. And so it's been a lot about grief, a lot of transitions, a lot of changes. a lot of reflecting, and it's had me really facing a lot of Jamie pre-transition and growing up, and Jamie currently within transition as a trans non-binary person, and really figuring out that much more what it is that I want and what it is that I don't want. So I got to certain milestones of certain projects. Other projects, like the Global Gratitude March, I've now released. And I know that I just made it seem like, wow, like it was so easy to just release this and never do it again. Like, no, it was a whole process. It was a whole process of me addressing guilt, addressing grief, addressing shame, addressing this, you know, looking good of like how others might perceive me within my different decisions of changing different things. But what ended up happening was that I opened up a lot of doors and a lot of awareness to progress forward with a lot of my connections. And I realized my collaborators are my inner circle. And so I am now focused on collaborating with my inner circle. And it's, you know, pretty much going to be very, very difficult for someone else to come in and collaborate with me um, in terms of like starting a project or something like that from scratch that's going to be especially long term in the foreseeable future. Because right now I am navigating conservatively 6 to 7 different projects, some of them that were already happening underway, like the deck, and others that are newer and have been happening very quietly for months and months and months. I used to be the type of person who would share absolutely everything that I was creating and everything that I wanted to create, and I have stopped doing this because I realized, and it's not even so much as about competition as much as it is about the pressure that comes from announcing something that you're going to be doing something, and you know the perception that others may try to place on you of how to go about things, the comments, and really what it came down to is there were way too many chefs in the kitchen, and Chef Tranibus internally needed to really just be within self. And I needed to really figure out for my own self what it was that I wanted to do. Right now, I feel so safe within my collaborations because I am so excited about them. I'm passionate about them. And every single person that I'm collaborating with is someone that I have a very deep bond with. And we're all on the same page. And whatever sticks and thrives is going to be focused on, and whatever doesn't is going to be shifted or released. And I just feel so free to create and to progress and go forward. So if you are wanting to communicate and connect with me, the best ways to do that are to reach out to me directly, especially on LinkedIn and YouTube, which is where I am spending all of my time at this point, or go onto my Calendly, which I will again put this banner here. And you can actually, in the same place of the Calendly, you can actually go and set up a collaboration call or set up a discovery call or personal call, and we can catch up and chat and find that time. But my awareness of my bandwidth and what it is that I need is getting clearer and clearer all the time. And so I am communicating more with less people. Now, if you have an event, a retreat, something like that that you want me involved in, you have a podcast or anything like that, I'm all in on participating in those things. Those are the types of things that I want invitations to. But I'm going to be very, very mindful going forward because I've got my plate full and I know exactly where it is that I am headed for the rest of this year and where I'm going forward. There were other big things that happened in the last couple of months. I haven't really talked too much about it. I know that I've been very open about my neurodivergence. It became pretty clear that I am actually autistic, and I proceeded to start the journey of actually getting tested for adults who have autism. And so I am two-thirds of the way incomplete of this. And why that matters to me is because I was lacking and I'm lacking in certain resources that I know would really help me that I didn't have growing up and that I don't have now. That would help me to function that much better, to be happier, and to be able to navigate this that much more. And so part of this has been a lot of me scaling back and, um, again, honoring these new boundaries, figuring out what my boundaries are. I'm realizing that I need a lot more time alone. I'm realizing that I am both an internal processor and an external processor. I'm realizing that I'm the type of person who gets way overstimulated and I need certain types of stimming. And now I have like 1,000 fidget toys. And there's a lot that I'm learning about myself through this process, and it is changing so much about how I go about my day to day, and it's just allowing me to live it that much more authentically. It's not, I'm not doing this because I require the state's validation to know this about myself. Now, at this point, everyone in my family and those who are closest to me, they're like, yeah, this is all tracking and making sense. um, I needed closure and clarity from my neurodivergent journey with my IEP when I was young. And I ended up getting a hold of all of these tests and things like that from when I was growing up. And it was um, emotional to look at these things and to see how I was perceived. And I frankly got really upset and really angry and really confused. Um, and also grew in compassion and awareness of where things were, how the educational system was handling things then, and what could have been done differently. And it opened up a lot of really important conversations that I've had now with my parents, with my siblings, with my friends, with my collaborators. And it's helping me to be that much stronger in who I am and how I navigate my reality. So it's been very powerful and it's been a very emotional process. But it is a process that I am very grateful to be going through. And over these coming months, as this process probably within the next 3 to 6 months gets wrapped up, I foresee myself being so much happier and grateful to have all of these different resources that I truly need. And it will allow me to be a better leader of love, which is so much of what I want. And so that has been really where a lot of my energy and time and emotions have been going through um, the last 2 months. Thank you, KJ. I'm loving all of you as well. And so where I am now is that I am at the space where half of me feels incredibly excited, passionate, um, driven, and committed to all of these different projects that you will be learning about pretty quickly. And again, a lot of these things were underway or things that I have been directly asking the universe for, or things that the universe has been putting in front of me. And none of it will probably surprise you. Especially if you already know me and even if you are watching and listening to this video. So I'm really excited, but there's another part of me, of course, that is navigating the processing and the feeling very tired and the feeling a little overwhelmed with the starting of new things or really blasting all of these things out, and the reality of needing to market these things and actually share them. I have this habit that I am looking to improve upon and have been improving upon, where I create all these amazing things, and I don't do as good of a job at creating these things as I do sharing them. So what happens is they sit in my laptop, in my phone, in any number of different ways and methods, and I don't market them properly. And so that is something that I am navigating figuring out what are the ways that are authentic for me to market and how can I actually reach my demographic in a way that resonates with me and doesn't feel overwhelming and exhausting. I am definitely not in burnout right now, and I am definitely making progress each and every day. When I got back from Colorado, I basically had like half a day before things started to boom, 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 boom start to happen. And wonderful things like getting new clients and getting to spend time with those who I love. And it has definitely been um, full. And I've really busy is a word that for me does not resonate. It is a word that I've been looking to release. It's not because there are any good or bad words, but for me, busy is associated with stress. Busy is associated with I must do this, as opposed to I'm choosing to commit enthusiastically to this. I am excited about being in the flow and I feel guided and called to do this right now. And it feels easy and refreshing and exciting and motivating. And so I'm really looking at my behaviors and I'm going to actually be talking very, very soon and launching out with Test Wall something incredible that is the backbone of the success of this and how we are going to help people with the success of going from productivity to progress very, very soon. So excited to tell you more about it, to show you, reveal this to the world. It's been a process that has been, I would say, conventionally like 6 or 7 months at least coming together, and we're so excited. So what you can anticipate going forward is that you can connect with me on LinkedIn and YouTube. You can always reach out to me directly. That is always helpful. When you check in, it helps me to check in. You can anticipate that I will be coming out with all sorts of things from very small, low cost, exciting things that you can access to bigger offers. For those who don't know, the biggest thing that's happening right now in all of these projects is the retreats with Tess Wall and Mercury. The practical to play retreats where we are going to rest, reset, and recharge with duos. It is an all inclusive luxury retreat that is happening in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's on a private property. It is a beautiful property that is personally very, very special to me. And it was donated for this beautiful process for us to bring 6 different duos. It's going to be 3 duos for each retreat. They're happening the first Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and half of Sunday. It's a 3.5 day retreat for December. And the second week, the same. Again, you can go to wake-in.com, which is scrolling below down here, and you can learn all about these retreats. Duos look like not just romantic duos, it's also best friends, co-creators, co-founders, siblings, a mentor and a mentee, in-laws, a coach and a student, or a coach and a client. Whatever resonates with you and your duo, this is an opportunity for you to rest, reset, and recharge, to get excited and celebrate 2024 and come into 2025 that much stronger and that much clearer. We are going to do many different play shops, spiritual wellness modalities. We are going to go on a family trip out to these beautiful hot springs, as well as to some shopping in town of Santa Fe, as well as to an awesome dinner. It is going to be a very, very special experience. So you are not going to want to miss that. And if you are interested, there are still spots available. So again, go to wake-in.com and you will be able to click literally when the website opens, you're going to see a pop-up that's all about it. It will take you right to the page. And so that is where a lot of my attention and time is going to be going now, going forward, along with releasing all of these different offers. And for example, these keep feeding into each other, right? So the deck ended up feeding into the Global Gratitude March. That's going to continue and feed into the retreats, as well as this project with Tess, and so on. And so everything just is fitting together. The alignment is so clear, and I am much clearer on the direction and where things are going. For those who are wondering, well, Jamie, what about the Wake and Wellness Centers? That is still the long term plan. Nothing astronomical has shifted in the sense that I am completely revamping the way that I am spending my time on this earth in the long game. It's about the micro behaviors, it's about the micro projects, it's about the various bigger projects and things that go into the purpose and the passion and the mission. I am still all in on the Wake and Wellness Centers for leaders of love and their families all around the world, and that is still where I'm headed. All of these projects coming in are going to be leaning into that. And you're going to see some really key themes that I have been addressing on a micro level, more so on a macro level through these different projects. So you're going to see the burnout coming in even more specifically and from a more analytical side of things and from a wholeness side of things. You're going to see various spiritual practices, modalities, various tools that are going to be coming out, as well as different programs and processes with Reiki at the base of pretty much everything, as well as the awareness of the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Again, when we love ourselves unconditionally, we can love others unconditionally. And all of our best choices come from this space. So, all of that is still going to be remaining true. And I'm going to be like quadrupling down on intimacy. So intimacy is what I've realized is what makes my heart sing. Intimacy, gratitude, burnout, all of this comes into the unconditional love, which for those who don't know, my purpose in this lifetime is to anchor the remembrance of unconditional love into Gaia and the collective. And so I've been doing this in many different ways. And now I'm taking it up 20 notches. And I've really leaned into focusing on leaders. So whether you're a leader in a corporate space or nonprofit space, whether you're an entrepreneur, you are someone who I want to get to know and I want to support you because I want this to ripple off. I want you to succeed in exactly what it is that you want to do to make this world better. And I want you to be happy and healthy and balanced in doing this. And I want it to ripple off and impact positively all of those who are around you. It's an inspiration factory. That is what Earth is. It's a creator's playground, and we are all creators. And so I am leaning in to my creator, my leader of love, in a way that suits me more. And I've noticed that, of course, as I've been leaning into this more, I'm attracting more of the people who are resonating with me. I'm also going to be learning a couple of things a little bit deeper. I've learned that I'm someone who needs to learn a little bit about a lot of things. And then there are a couple things that I am really diving deep into. And the things that I don't need to learn a lot about are the things that I've been doing for years and years and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And so it all came really quick to me. There are other things that I'm diving deeper into. And I am really excited to be doing that, and I will be announcing things as they come. So, going forward, the way that I'm going to be playing this game, which I really have come to decide in the last couple of days, it really is a game. I'm not even just simulation theory aside. I truly believe that life is a game because we get to make all of these choices of how we play. And I have spent the last 2 months having so many changes happen radically and so fast in such a domino effect fashion that it was the opportunity of a lifetime to make more changes. And that's kind of how I've been playing this game as Jamie from day one. My life was never boring. I haven't really thought about boredom since I was a young teenager. I don't even think it's possible to actually be bored with how much there is that's possible in the technological age and in the human experience. I am definitely not bored. I am very full and I am on my way to becoming more fulfilled as I go forward into my purpose and into my life. And I see the end of this year finishing very powerfully. having a lot of completion, having a lot of new introductions, bringing a lot of exciting things into the world, and coming into a much, much, much happier, satisfied, stable place. So, that is my update for August and September, and I guess the intro into October, and where I am headed for the rest of the year. I am so excited for this travel. I'm so excited for the collaborations. I am so excited for everything that is coming my way. And I want to remind you that everything that is possible for you, everything that is exciting, everything that is here to help you grow and to remember exactly who you are and who you are designed to be in this lifetime is coming for you. It's coming for you now. It's already here. And you are just simply finding the vibrational match of all of these things that you truly desire. The money is here. The love is here. The friendship is here. The projects are here. The possibilities are here. The fun is here. It's all here. So I encourage you to focus on going internally. I'm encouraging you to focus on being in the physical realm around you. Do not shy away from the 3D experience. Humanity is still experiencing all of these different dimensions as we go through this ascension process. Bypassing 3D is not why you are here right now. We are here to experience whatever it is that we desire and choose to experience for our growth and for the growth of this collective. So go forth and do these things. Be these things. Be who you want to be. You are becoming in each and every moment. So soak it all up, because for the zillionth time, I was reminded that we do not know how long we have here. We do not know. I'm incredibly psychic and I still don't even know the truth of how long I have here. I know that I am planning on being here for a very long time and that I am not remotely done doing all of the things that I am doing, both because I love it and I enjoy it very much and I want to bring this to the collective. I know what my gifts are. I'm learning what my gifts are all the time. I'm expanding upon them. And as I come into a stronger leader of love, I am committed to supporting and serving and empowering leaders of love around the world. If you have a purpose that you are aware of and you are passionate about going through this process and you want to experience insightful, impactful, unforgettable spiritual experiences, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. I am here to support on a one on one basis, on a group basis, and on a corporate level. And although I am leaning much more into the corporate level and into groups, I am still very, very interested on one, and I have offerings for each and every one of you. So go and check out the new website, wake-in.com, and let me know how it is that I can support you in being a better leader of love. I love you unconditionally. Thank you so much for tapping in and sticking around. If you did to this, it was too exhausting to go one on one to everyone. So if you want to know what's going on with me, I'm probably going to send you to this video unless you sort of have been caught up all along, because I am ready to move forward. I'm already here in this new present moment. All of this that I shared with you is mostly of the past, and I am here with you now. So thank you for joining me here now. I love you unconditionally, and I will see you around on LinkedIn and YouTube, and especially in the world. Namaste, my friends. Be well.